Hi, I'm Josh, and this is my wife Kate, our son Sabbath. Can you wave, buddy?
Can you wave?
Wave.
Say hi. Say hello. Alright, he's 2, so we're going to let him get down and run around while I finish the rest of these questions.
Alright, so tell us about yourself, your likes, your dislikes, your family, and your hobbies, etc.
Well, I like to work out. I like to spend time doing ministry. I like to work. Really like trying to spread revival. Is really my greatest likes. Dislikes, I don't like roofing. I did that for a long time. I'd rather not do that. So, some of my dislikes. Yeah.
Kate, what about you?
I would say my likes would be home church. We've done home church in our home for a while, and that's been the best ministry I think we've had. Just deep, intimate connections with people. Also, we just like being outside and enjoying nature, and Sabbath's a little pool rat, and I think my husband is too, so so we enjoy being outside, and we love the ministry, but I guess we'll see, you'll see that if the Lord so wills.
I think that kind of covers question number 3, the fun things that you guys enjoy doing. Can you each give an individual explanation of your salvation experience?
Okay. I didn't really grow up in church. I went to various vacation Bible schools or youth groups as I was growing up, but it wasn't until my senior year I was really involved in drugs and just a bunch of junk. And one night the Lord really called out to me, and it was a lot like Saul of Tarsus when the Lord called out to him to become Paul. But he called out to me, and I couldn't reject him. And so the next day I asked the only pastor I knew if I could go to church with him, and got saved 2 weeks later and committed my life to Jesus. And then he really discipled me. Really took me into his house every week and spent 6 or 7 hours a night and would just pour into my life. And from there, just increase in study and in prayer and being ministered to, that people would train me up in the Word. And since then, just been steadily learning from God.
I also didn't grow up in a family that went to church, and so we really have a heart for like spiritual orphans in the youth group that aren't led by their families, but we know that the redemption of Christ can reach them. And so most of my life we just had a simple normal childhood. When I was 9, that kind of flipped around. My dad had passed away when I was 9, and my mom kind of spiraled out of control after that. Ended up in the bar, and we couldn't make the bills and didn't have lights and things like that. Just different trials that we went through because of that. I guess that was the time that I had first heard from the Lord, though, was at the age of 10 or 11 when my grandparents took me to vacation Bible school for the first time, and I realized who God was, and that there was this Jesus that loved me and died for me. I didn't wholly surrender myself at that point, but that's the first pursuit I felt of God's love upon me, telling me who he was. And so my mom ended up trying to get her life back together. We moved down to Tennessee. I went to that same church that I went to Bible school with my grandparents so many years prior, and I surrendered my life to the Lord there after a series of events that the Lord had placed in my life, different trials and temptations and things. And then I just ended up falling at the feet of Jesus because I couldn't handle them myself. And that's when my surrender, my salvation experience happened. And since then, have been anointed with the Spirit and the desire to bring that redemption to other people through the love of Jesus.
And tell me why you feel called to the youth ministry.
That was the roughest time of my life as a teenager.
Me too.
Found myself in a bad spot after my parents were going through a real hard time, and I got in drugs and alcohol and just everything, absolutely everything. And no one reached out to me. I didn't have anyone inviting me to church. I didn't have anyone calling out and trying to help me. Everyone just kind of pushed me further into that path. And I just always look and think, if someone would have called out to me, would I have been able to reach out to the Lord for help? Or I don't know. I don't know if that was the case, but that's what I feel like I should be doing for people in that spot. And that maybe, just like I said, they're spiritual orphans, and no one's there to lead them, but if at all possible, do whatever I can to reach some. Mm-hmm. And maybe they don't have to walk in that same way or get caught up in that same stuff.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And then what steps will you take to ensure that every youth feels included and important?
You really have to take what Paul says and become all things to all people. I mean, there are some youth kids that if you go to their basketball games, their football games, their track meets, or whatever have you, and you just go there and you cheer them on, encourage them, that's what they need. Mm-hmm. And they need those kind of steps to just to know that you love them and you care for them. But some of those kids, they need you to meet with their parents and sit down and talk to them about baptism or repentance or laying on of hands or whatever. And just to make sure that you have opportunities for all kids. If some kids have something on Wednesday night that they can't come to youth, make sure you put another spot, maybe on a Friday or Tuesday afternoon or something where they can come to the church or wherever and meet with you, and so you can dive into the scriptures with them, and you can really spend time to evangelize and disciple and teach them the importance of that. You just got to make yourself available for whatever their needs are, just according to what God needs you to do.
Mm-hmm. We've actually, in the past, when we served together at the church prior to the one we serve at now, when Josh was youth pastor, he would generally be the one to jump into volleyball or jump into all these things and lead them up, all these activities. And there's also a group of people who generally tend to sit out on the sidelines or stay away from all the commotion and stuff that other people would call fun, and so Josh would get to go out there and play with all of them and make those relationships. But we noticed that the Spirit kind of guided me to sit along the sidelines with the kids who weren't as interested in those things, but may as well be interested in other things that we did, and new people generally on the sidelines, and just chat with them and talk to them, and maybe just bring out like a smaller game or something they wouldn't be as intimidated to do. And so I noticed that we were able to work together in that way to ensure that all of them each Wednesday or each Sunday night or whenever we met, that they would feel included in each service as well.
Okay, and it sounds kind of like you answered this question already, but if you want to expound upon it, what are some things that you have done to help youth grow spiritually?
The best way I can answer this is to not treat them like babies. I find people throw off youth ministry as some completely separate idea from the church, and they're yearning for truth just as much as any adult would. And so you've got to treat them as such. If they don't know a subject, then teach them. Don't let them leave uneducated on something, and teach them the fundamentals, teach them the foundations of Christ, and build on that. And don't make things taboo, and don't talk to them about things. They just got to know. They really got to know. And so we don't treat them like they shouldn't know about ideas like sex or drugs or these things that people get caught up into, or what Christian marriage should look like, or fundamental theologies that we just think, well, that's talking way over their head. But they got to know these things, or they're going to get taken captive by all these different winds of philosophy and theology. And you just really got to treat them like they're about to become young adults.
I think most of the time he says youth ministry is making disciples that make disciples. and I think he hit that when he said that. But that we would really use our talents and our calling to bring forth equip them to be able to disciple other people. And then normally when they were able to disciple, or they were able to share their faith or be able to serve in a certain way to other people, it became more real to them. And so I think that's a huge part of it, making sure they're confident in making disciples as well, and not just being what the church would call a disciple, or the common church would call a disciple.
All right. How about some examples of youth fellowships that you've done in the past? How regularly you have meetings with the youth group?
Well, I like to not just limit it to a Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, because I hate the idea that's even in the church with that church is just twice a week, and that's why you get such watered down Christianity. Like I said earlier, to make yourself available, that if the only time they can meet is Tuesday after school at the church, then you be there Tuesday after school at the church to meet with them, to disciple them and to teach them to disciple others and evangelize, and or if they need help ministering to their friends, you would make these opportunities available, but also to get them involved in the church. And maybe if they want to get into the worship team, or maybe if they want to help go on mission trips, or whatever have you, that you would make yourself available and give them opportunities where they can minister as well, so they can be a disciple who makes disciple, or be an evangelist in their own community with their own people and in their school, and that you would empower them with the gospel to do such things.
And how are you currently using today's technology to reach youth?
Well, it's incredibly easy to use Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. They keep up on these things. Teenagers keep that up, and we can't be blind to it. There's wickedness in it, don't get me wrong, and they use it for all sorts of measures. But to be able to be a light in the darkness with it, to be able to get on Facebook, and they're going to read this stuff, and they might scroll past something, but post scripture, post different ideas, and share pages and stuff, and they can see that, and it's always at their capability. And everybody has a phone, they can just scroll through or get on it, and also just YouTube and stuff. And I have had different spots where I rap. And so anyway, some kids really like that in our previous youth group, and so I'd post raps for them, and they can get on there and they can listen to it, and it has so much light and so much of the gospel. They can really get a message from it, or even more so, have them to where they can get a hold of you on there at any time. I mean, there is so many lost, and their friends could get on your page and see everything like that, and so if they were nervous, they could just say, hey, go follow my youth pastor, or go follow this guy on Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram or whatever, and you can see what a real Christian is supposed to look like, or how we're supposed to look like when we follow Jesus.
I think that in those posts and things that we will be able to, that we are able to glorify the Lord, and even the mundane, even the daily tasks. And so we try to do that with just each avenue of our lives. And as well, we've used a Facebook page for our previous youth group before, just to keep them posted on kind of when we're available, or if they want to do a certain event that maybe wasn't scheduled, or just keep them updated with some scripture and some encouragement, and just kind of keep a community there online, because all of them seem to have it anymore. So I think we would be foolish not to use it to further the kingdom.
Was there anything else you guys would like to say, or you feel that they should know about you?
I think I'd just like to thank you for your time and listening to it, and praying for your church for the right choice. I don't ever want to get selfish or anything, but I want God to choose who He wants in the position. And so know that we're praying alongside of you, that the kingdom's purpose will be further, not our own.
Also, Josh is going to leave a link for one of those spoken words or raps that he was talking about. And I can leave a link to my personal blog that I have been able to just kind of try to glorify God in the mundane, like we were talking about. If there's anything else that you guys want to know, just let us know and we'll do our best to help you out. Thank you.
Yeah.